All right, let's get into it. The drone world in 2026 is moving at lightning speed. So in this explainer, we're going to take a high-level view of, well, everything, from the gear you should be carrying to the skills you need to have.
So, here's the flight plan. We're going to help you find your perfect drone, and then we'll get into why a few grams can make a world of difference. After that, we'll unlock some cinematic secrets, teach you how to conquer the cold, and even peek into a future where the best drone shot might not even meet a drone.
Okay, let's kick things off with the question I get asked all the time. What drone should I actually buy? You know, in 2026, the answer is actually clearer than it's ever been because the market has really settled into three very distinct categories.
Your choices are incredibly well defined right now. For beginners and travelers, the Mini 5 Pro is an absolute revolution. I mean, a pro-level 1-inch sensor in a drone that small? Crazy! Then you've got the Air 3, that's your workhorse, your all-rounder, giving you creative flexibility with 2 cameras and these epic flight times. And for the pros who need the best of the best, the Mavic 4 Pro is just an aerial powerhouse with 3 cameras and a massive main sensor.
But let's focus on the Mini 5 Pro for a second, because here's the trade-off. You get this incredible freedom from regulations and a fantastic image for its size, which is a huge leap from older Minis, but that featherlight design means it can get tossed around in heavy winds, and while its 12-megapixel sensor is perfect for social media, you probably aren't going to be making giant wall prints from it.
And that weight thing brings us to a number that has completely, and I mean completely, changed the game for drone pilots. We mentioned the Mini 5 Pro's weight, but let's really dig into why that specific number is such a massive deal. 249 grams. That's it. This is the magic number. Seriously, this little number is the key that unlocks a whole different world of flying, a world with way fewer rules and a lot more freedom. See, being under 250 grams isn't about performance. It's about freedom. In the US, you can skip FAA registration for recreational use. Flying in Canada, it's a micro drone, no license needed. Over in Europe, it puts you in the easiest C0 category. What this all means for you is less paperwork, less stress, and just more opportunities to legally get your drone up in the air.
So you've got the drone, you're flying legally, but your footage just kind of looks like, well, video, right? How do you get that buttery smooth, professional, movie-like footage? It's really not as complicated as you might think.
This is the key question, right here. And the secret isn't buried in some obscure menu setting on your drone. Nope. It's all about controlling one of the most fundamental elements of photography, light. First, you gotta know the rule. The 180-degree shutter rule is what separates amateur video from professional cinematography. Basically, you set your shutter speed to be double your frame rate. This introduces a natural, pleasing motion blur that our eyes are just used to seeing in movies. It's what makes movement feel smooth, not all jittery and weird.
Okay, but here's the catch. On a bright sunny day, a slow shutter speed, like say 1/50th of a second, lets in a ton of light. It'll completely blow out your image, just pure white. So how do you stick to the rule without destroying your shot? Well, you have to put sunglasses on your drone.
And that is exactly what a neutral density filter, or ND filter, is. It's just a simple piece of darkened glass that you pop onto your drone's lens. It cuts down the amount of light hitting the sensor, which gives you back control.
And this is the perfect way to think about it. With an ND filter on, you can slow your shutter speed way down to follow that 180-degree rule, even in direct sunlight. And you get that perfect cinematic motion blur without overexposing anything. It is, without a doubt, the single most important accessory for drone video.
All right, so let's switch gears from bright sun to the complete opposite. Flying in a gorgeous, snowy landscape is a dream, but it comes with a huge challenge that can literally cause your drone to fall right out of the sky. I'm talking about your battery life just tanking unexpectedly. The science here is pretty simple. Cold just slows down the chemical reactions inside your drone's batteries. At -20 Celsius, that's -4 Fahrenheit, your battery's internal resistance skyrockets, and its usable capacity can drop by a staggering 30% or even more. That can actually trigger a shutdown mid-flight. Not good.
But you can absolutely fight back against the cold. Just follow this 4-step process for a safe flight. 1. Preheat your batteries, either in your car or with a hand warmer. 2. Keep them insulated until the moment you're ready to fly. 3. Once you take off, just hover for a minute to let the battery warm itself up. And finally, 4. Keep a close eye on your power levels and land early with at least 30 or 40% battery left.
All right, so you've mastered the gear, you've mastered the skills, you're out there getting these incredible shots, but what if I told you the next great aerial image you create won't involve a drone at all? Okay,
This is where things get really wild. With these new AI image tools, you can take a totally normal photo, one you just snap from the ground, upload it, and use a super simple text prompt to completely reimagine the entire perspective.
And the results are just stunning. The AI doesn't just, crop or stretch your photo. It analyzes the information, it understands the structure, and then it completely reconstructs a new three-dimensional aerial view, intelligently guessing what the roof and the surrounding area look like. It's not a filter, it's a full-on recreation.
And as we look to the horizon, it's not just AI that's changing the landscape. There is a huge question mark hanging over the entire industry. Citing national security concerns, the United States is looking at a ban that could stop the sale of new DJI drones, which, let's be honest, dominate the market. Existing drones would be safe, but it could drastically change what's even available to buy in the near future. Which leaves us with this final